Good evening. To start with, let me tell you what I'm not here to do. I am definitely not here to tell you to deep breathe, meditate for 10 minutes, and the world around you will be calm. Absolutely not. I'm also not here to tell you that anxiety is a weakness. I'm, I'm about to talk about anxiety as we normally live it in our normal human life. As we live it on our normal Tuesdays, our relationships, in our work, in our clinics, any of the workspaces. So, what we need to understand is anxiety is the most powerful of the human states. It's a surge of energy which doesn't require regeneration. When you feel anxious, and it's that power which you need to tap into. So the question isn't that how do I get rid of anxiety? The question is that how do I use it to my advantage? How do I direct it so that it helps me progress in life rather than takes me backward? So, the entire concept of anxiety is not a philosophy, it's a directed step on approach to anxiety where it helps you master it and make a partner of it rather than a driver of it. So, the first step of this is always about recognizing it. So, we all understand that anxiety can be a surge of thoughts. It can be that barge of thoughts which come across to us whenever we come across an uncomfortable situation. When it is acute, it can have many physical forms also. You may have your heart pounding, your palms sweating, there can be sweat on your forehead. All of this is a loud, acute anxiety coming into your life. But when it's chronic, when it's prolonged, it tends to get sneaky. It doesn't scream. It can find an address in your body. For me, that address is my hands. My hands tend to get very itchy. They tend to get fidgety. They tend to get restless. There's a reason that fidget cubes sell so much. I'm sure they made millions out of me. So your job is to find that address of anxiety in your body. See where it exists in your body. It does exist in your mind. Does it exist in your body anywhere? Has it been able to find an address? And that's where you recognize it. Whenever you have an uncomfortable situation and you think that there is this rush of thoughts and there's this heart pounding, or when you're going through a difficult period in life, understand that anxiety has its sneaky ways to be in. Now, once you've found the anxiety, the next step is to watch this space carefully. See, anxiety per se is not dangerous, it's just thoughts. It's not going to say anything to you. It's only the actions which come out of anxiety are what dangerous means are. The urge to do something irrational in that anxiety, the push to action, which is simply to take away the discomfort. It is not actually solving the problem for you. Now, what we need to do is to understand the gap between the thoughts and the action, the space which exists between them. Whenever you get this thoughts, this rush of thoughts, and you're about to act, find that gap. Hold yourself there. Try to capture that gap. Hence the title of the talk, that if you're still thinking about it, don't do it yet. That yet is not procrastination. That yet is it's not you avoiding it. It's that freedom. That yet is that you taking the power back in which you are still thinking about it. You are anxious, you have a rush of thoughts, but you're not ready to act yet. Watch that space. The goal here is to make anxiety your partner and have it sit on you beside you on your swing, not let you steer the vehicle in which you are. Try to find that gap and watch that space. Now, let me tell you with some examples. Let's say you have a colleague who is doing better than you, as all of us will have. There will be colleagues who will be doing better than us. Now you feel insecure. You get this rush of feelings of what is going to happen to me. You feel certain degree of worthlessness, uselessness coming in. You feel that I'm going to be left behind. And you tend to become quieter. You tend to become withdrawn in a meeting. If I am sitting in a tumor board, and if this happens, it tends to push me down. And then I tend to say or do something out of the discomfort. To relieve that particular discomfort, I act. Now let's take control of the situation. If there's a colleague who's doing better than me, I recognize that rush of feelings. I recognize that this rush of feelings is my anxious thoughts. I take a step back. I watch the space. And I calculate. What should I do so that I become equally competent? What are the measures to do that? That's you regaining that space. You're all sitting for exams. I'm sure all of you have gone through different professional examinations. You sit for exams. Hell, you would have just spent the year jolling through it, and suddenly you sit and you want to plan your life during the sit down. You want to dumb scroll the phone. It's nothing but your mind trying to find an escape from the what if anxiety. What if I fail? What if this doesn't go the way I have planned? Your job is to find that thought, understand that it's uncomfortable to be with the thought and stick with it. It's just different situations, same story. See, from the place I come in, I think the anxiety has an absolutely different sense. I am a practicing oncologist. In my life, anxiety is much more layered and much more buried. Whenever a patient walks into my clinic and says that there's a lack of sleep or there's some new vague symptom which I'm not able to identify or which I'm unable to explain, one thought always is that this has some degree of anxiety which is showing up. A life-altering diagnosis such as cancer has different meaning for everybody. Not everybody processes it immediately. Not everybody processes it same. There are patients who just pour themselves into work. They feel that the stillness is too loud. They don't want to be still. While undergoing the treatment, they will just want to roam around and keep working because they just think that if they sit and the thoughts come, they will be unable to bear the burden of those thoughts. There are patients who just keep taking opinions. They keep researching. For them, the certainty feels like some relief in anxiety. There are patients who give up, who say, we can't do it. There is no hope left. And there are certainly the patients who do not accept the diagnosis. So what I'm trying to tell you is there are different people, different situations. However, it's the same anxiety wearing different costumes. Now, once you have recognized that this is what anxiety is, the question is, how do you make your way out of it? How do you climb your way out of it? Be it be the daily living, or be it be the most complex situations in your life. The mantra is always going to be the same. Recognize, tame, and redirect. For example, cancer. I understand it's the most morbid of it, but that's the most difficult situation you'll ever be in. Now, if somebody is diagnosed with cancer, there's this loud doom, and it absolutely doesn't appear quietly. There's this rush, fear, the sense of what will happen to my children, who will take care of them, will I ever get to live or not? And that's a difficult situation to be in. Your heart is beating, you are sweating, there is an overwhelm of emotions there is. Now, the plan here is to recognize. To recognize that it's anxiety acting as a protection mechanism. Acting as a protection mechanism to keep myself protected. The first point here is to tone the volume down. Please understand that you're never going to be getting rid of it. You have just been diagnosed with the most life-altering disease of you can ever have. To say that please be calm is an absolutely absurd thing to say. You will have to tell them that we need to tone the volume down. You'll have to tell them take some deep breaths, drop your shoulders, find the gap. Tone the volume down and find the gap. Find the gap to act in a measured manner, to understand what the disease is, what best can be done, and how do we go from here. Who do you want in your support group? All of these are an important part while you're treating. So please understand that at the end of it, whatever be the situation, even the trivial of situation in your, even the trivialest of situation in your life, the stakes may change, but the nervous system is always going to be the same. It is always and always going to react in a way to an anxiety unless you recognize, you tame, and you redirect. Now, I have a very, very different take on anxiety, and I think it's a huge advantage. For me, anxiety has helped me in my life in the best way possible. It's that bundle of energy which exists in your body. It's that rush which exists. All you need to do is just direct it the right way. It doesn't require regeneration. If I tell you to get up every day and exercise, it is difficult. But when you're anxious, there is this energy already which exists. All you need to do is you just need to direct it. It's not your enemy. It's the most powerful of the human souls, human fuels. Now, the only thing which you need to do is redirect it. Make it a partner, sit beside on your swing, not at the steering wheel of your car. Anxiety is a fuel. The way you direct it will define whether you build with it or you burn with it. Now, please understand that the gap which I'm talking about, it's not a philosophy. Gap is a muscle. Watching the space and creating the space between the thoughts and the action, it's a muscle. You develop it once you repeatedly push for it. Your aim should be that when the anxious thoughts arrive, I should be able to recognize them and I should be able to let them flow as an automatic response. It should be a reflex for you to identify your thoughts and let them flow as a simple mechanism. And then create a space between the thoughts and the actions. Now, emergencies aside, and I'm not talking about that if there's a fire and you're thinking about running and you think, let me think and let me find. Absolutely not. Emergencies aside, don't obey the first thought which comes in your immediate life whenever you're in a stressful situation. Let the volume turn down. Give yourself some breathing space and then act. Choose your actions wisely. Act deliberately. Now, there are certain limitations to this entire anxiety part. One of them is that anxiety is a fuel, it's not an engine. Please understand that you can't depend on anxiety to make you extremely successful in life. It's the basic hygiene of high-performing individuals. You will not have any high-performing individual who has not mastered the anxiety. They have gone through the stressful situations much more than you or me or any of us will ever have, and they have learned to master it. It's just the basic hygiene. If you're not doing it, you're not even there as yet. The problem with anxiety is the reactfulness of it, the episodic nature of it. It's not discipline. It's not consistency. If you want to be anywhere in life, And if you want to succeed in life, managing anxiety and tagging it with discipline and consistency is the key. So please understand, taming and redirecting anxiety gets you only so much. It's just the basic hygiene. It's the discipline and consistency which is the real differentiator. So my take homes for you are, please understand, anxiety is the most powerful of the human state. It's a fuel. It's not your enemy. Find an address where anxiety exists in your body. It's there in your mind and it's there in your body. You just need to find where it is. You need to understand that anxiety and then watch the space. Protect the gap which exists between the thoughts and the actions. Remember, recognize, tame, and redirect. Act only when the volume is down, when you think that I've settled myself and you're able to choose your actions deliberately. And then, once you have reached there and you're ready to make the real differentiation, tag it with discipline. Tag it with discipline and consistency. Anxiety will always remain episodic. It's tagging it with discipline and consistency which will be the real differentiator. So please understand that anxiety isn't going to leave you. It's going to be there. So widen the gap. Build the discipline. Keep anxiety as your partner. Besides you or in a swing, never at the steering wheel of your car. Thank you.